Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast. Today it's a 1 versus 1 on Turtle Rock. It is a Gara Cup 53 game between our blue human player, Sock, and up top we have our yellow orc player, Worker. We're going to speed this up to the 8x mark, to the 2-minute point of the game when everything starts to get good. And so a Gara Cup game, this should be a very good game. I'm not sure if this is a finals game or anything like that, but it is a tournament game.
A player's forces
and of course,
that
thus should be pretty good. And we have a Blade Master coming out for the Orc. Archmage for the Human. And Slippers of Agility for the Archmage as a first item will more than likely be sold for something better. And Blade Master searching for his opponent, not going to find him there, knows that his opponent is going to be over here. And what is he going to do? Is he going to harass or is he going to creep? Doesn't look like he's going to be creeping here. The Grunt in a little bit of trouble, going to be taking some damage, but Grunts are hardy enough. And we'll take a lot of damage there. Going to get a Water Elemental kill perhaps here with the Blade Master. That's going to be a little chunk of free experience, and was killed by the Archmage. Very well played there. And now Worker chasing down that Archmage. And gives up the chase. Screw that. Gonna take too long. And 4 footmen on the field for the human player. It looks like a couple grunts out for now for the orc. And grabbing that stronghold there. Voodoo Lounge coming up shortly. The Archmage just sort of juking out the Blade Master for now. And a keep coming up. And still busting out some of them footmen. No
under attack.
Shop just yet for the Archmage. And a game of cat and mouse at the moment here. Another Water Elemental is out on the field. The Master goes a wind-walking action, and the Archmage here going to go up to the Goblin Merchant. Going to sell those Slippers of Agility. Gets Boots of Speed. We can outrun that Blade Master. And can the Blade Master get a kill? Doesn't look like he has any experience at all yet. Very well played so far on the part of our human player, as he has not lost any units just yet. It looks like the Blade Master is going to chase down this footman. No, he gives up the chase. Looks like he actually lost vision of it for a second, and he stopped chasing. He's going to go after the Ogre Warrior camp. He needs some experience. He's going to get on that pretty soon. 2 Water Elementals going to help creep this area out here. Slippers of Agility +3 again for that Archmage. Just really can't catch a break, but you can always sell him. Ring of Selling +2 for the Blade Master there. Basically a ring of 60 gold. As most people just end up selling that once in a great while. They keep it. Sometimes it's pretty good on, say, a Tauren Chieftain or even a Goblin Alchemist, I suppose. Heroes with very low armor
are under attack.
And footmen running around here, still just gaining sight of the map, keeping tabs on the orc player there. Down to half health on that Blade Master, and really hasn't accomplished too much in terms of experience, so he's quite far behind. But can always catch up here very quickly. Not going to go after the Ogre Warrior camp, but he's quite low. Could use the help of some grunts. Going to actually proxy creep there. But the human player going after the Forest Troll Warlord camp, so lots of things going to be falling here shortly. A Flute of Accuracy for the Archmage there. And going to go after the Ogre camp here. Gets the kill. Gets the Gloves of Haste for the
player's forces are under
Blade Master there. Very, very nice item. And Gauntlets of Ogre Strength will most likely be sold for something better. And the Flute of Accuracy is pretty nice on a human player. However, he's going mostly footmen at the moment, but they do help out that Water Elemental and the Archmage himself. And if he's going casters, which is more than likely, does help those spell breakers, and all of the casters. Usually only gives the casters +1 damage, as they do such low damage anyway. But he may end up selling this Flute of Accuracy. Does not. No, he does sell the Flute of Accuracy.
Are under attack.
Gets himself a good chunk of change for that. Doesn't really want that extra damage, as it is fairly negligible extra damage. But once you have a large army, all of that damage does add up over time. And the Ogre Magi here are going to fall. Rune of the Watcher there and picks up a talisman of evasion.
A town is under siege.
And now the Archmage going after an Orc burrow. However, forcing the Orc player there to power repair it, taking away some of those funds in the process. And now we have a Blood Mage for the second hero for Sock. And Worker coming to defend his burrows, gets himself an elemental kill, a little bit of experience. And the Shadow Hunter almost level 2 already. And now the human player going to be going after the Troll Warlord and transfer over a bunch of mana first. And now the Warlord will fall here quite quickly. Going after the Giant Sea Turtle camp as well. And Lionhorn of Stormwind, very interesting. If he would have kept that Flute of Accuracy, he would be sporting triple auras right now, which would be sort of humorous. The Lionhorn of Stormwind is not the greatest. Tome of Strength and a Potion of Greater Healing for our Blade Master. And looks like he just decided to skip out on those Ogre Warriors. And he probably should have kept those. I think he probably could have at least got that Blood Mage level 2 by doing that, but he wants to get to these Orc burrows as soon as possible. Now the Ogre Lord camp has been pulled, and we'll try and take this out before he makes it home to defend his base, but for now the peons should be enough to keep this repaired for a little while. And that Ogre Lord is gonna fall. Is he gonna be able to get it? He does, just barely. Helmet of Valor, Tome of Agility +2 for our Orc player. Lionhorn of Stormwind will most likely be sold, as it's pretty meh. 1 armor in the game is not very good. However, it would be somewhat humorous to have that Brilliance aura, the Devotion aura, and the Flute of Accuracy True Shot aura as well. Triple auras for the human. It does give all the priests +1 damage. I think it gives Spellbreakers 2 or 3 depending on their upgrades. Maybe 4. I think just 2 or 3. But Wand of Mana Stealing and a Tome of Intelligence there drops for our Archmage. And doesn't really need that Wand of Mana Stealing. He has that Blood Mage around. But it's always good to steal a little bit of mana from your opponent. But usually those just end up getting sold. They're usually a little better off with the money. The expansion going down here at the bottom for the human player. An Arcane Tower and a Scout Tower nearly completed. And now some harassment of these peasants creeping away, or mining away rather. And Orc in a little trouble, uses a Scroll of Speed to get down to the base here. And we'll be able to take out these towers before they complete. He's going to try and repair them, but not going to make them last very long. Does cancel that, so he can get a little bit of that money back, because he knew he wasn't going to last very long. And now Blood Mage going after that Shadow Hunter, steals a good chunk of mana. And using Banish to keep that Blade Master out of this realm for a little while, but doesn't really last particularly long. And Elemental will fall here soon. Loses that, and a Peasant very, very low as well. But doing alright on both sides. Holding out for a little while. The Blood Mage is sort of stuck here, and he's going to take quite a bit of damage. And also netted as well. Spellbreaker stealing a little bit of that Spirit Link, tossing it around just a little bit. Loses the Blood Mage, as he was sort of blocked in by his own Water Elemental. Archmage gets invisible there by those sorceresses. Very nice. Doesn't last too long.
The player's forces are under attack.
And we'll have to retreat on home for now. And essentially give up this expansion. As now the Orc has his eyes set on these weak peasants. Free experience. Gets a level on that Shadow Hunter as well. And human ready to fight again soon. But is a little apprehensive about it. As the Orc army right now is a little bit bigger. Mostly just casters here in the human army. Gonna use all those peasants and send them on home. Put them all in the pile there. So essentially giving up this expansion. He may be able to save it if he gets back fast enough.
forces are under
Doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. He's going to lose his expansion to these two raiders with that siege damage going down pretty quick there, and that falls. The human player going to creep up just a little bit and sweep that little creep camp up. I think it was actually already semi-creeped by the Blade Master earlier on. Now going to go after the Ogre Magi camp here. And looks like Worker going to go after the other Ogre Lord camp here at the bottom.
Players' forces are under attack.
And we have a Bloodlusted level 2 Water Elemental there, pumping out the damage. A lot of damage. It attacks very quickly. And the Archmage didn't actually see what item the Archmage picked up there. Very strange. Perhaps picked up a potion. Didn't quite see it. And what is it going to be for the Orc army here? Get that Rune of Healing that you always get out of there. Helmet of Valor that he picked up from the top. And looks like Warsong Battle Drums
A town is under siege.
have dropped there. And that is a very nice item to have, stacking with the Kodo Beast drums as well. The Command Aura and the drums from the Kodo Beast. Very interesting indeed. So everything has 20% increased damage. I do believe. I'm pretty sure the Kodo Beast 10%. It's been a while since I looked at that exact stat. But either way.
A player's forces are under attack.
Gargantuan Sea Turtle camp will fall shortly. And Potion of Greater Healing for the human player there. And Sok gonna grab that up eagerly. Potion of Greater Healing, such a nice item. Saves you just when you need it. And the last Sea Turtle falls. For the Orc player there, level 4 and a level 4 to a level 3 and a level 4. So slightly behind for the human player. Did lose that Blood Mage at one point.
A player's forces are under attack.
Tome of Retraining for that Archmage. Gonna retrain Blizzard by the looks of it. Rid of the Watcher there. And it looks like he may have actually trained, might have actually went back to Blizzard. Not really sure what he did there. And I think he's choosing Blizzard because of the massive Orc units on the map here. Gonna lose a couple quick peasants. And I think that may have gotten him level 5. Perhaps not. May have already been level 5. And the Sea Turtle camp gonna be pulled again.
A player's forces are under attack.
And there is one more Sea Turtle camp left on the map. After this one, all the center ones have been creeped out. Gargantuan Sea Turtle camp here, gonna try and be stolen by the Blade Master. Sees that Blade Master, banishes it temporarily. And a Tome of Strength left on the ground there. And picks up a Talisman of Evasion, so now he's got dual Talismans of Evasion. However, they don't stack. And we'll have to just sell one of those. Not too big of a deal, though. Money is always good. And the Gargantuan Sea Turtle camp falls for the Orc player, and that is the last one on the map. And Tome of Agility, Claws of Attack +9. And those will almost certainly go on the Blade Master. Otherwise, I'll be a sad panda. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Blood Mage there and on the Archmage. Both heroes have one. And the Claws of Attack do go on that Blade Master. Has 2 Gloves of Haste as well, so plus 23 damage using both of those auras, the Kodo Beast and the Warsong Battle Drums. And then on top of that, sporting 23 damage and a 30% increased attack speed, so this is one pretty deadly Blade Master. And Griffin Aviary coming up here. And gonna sport some Griffins. And, or perhaps more likely Dragonhawks. And just gonna net those. Or rather shackle them in the air and do damage to them. Get them out of the battle. Priest moving around the map, invisible. And a Great Hall coming up for the Orc player here. Gonna sport some Dragonhawks. And both players just biding their time right now. And gonna wait and see what they can do to each other. The Spellbreakers, Sorceresses, Priests, level 3 and a level 5. Still not level 4 on that Blood Mage to a level 5, and I believe a level 5 as well. Great Hall will be completed soon, but he's going to want to get on that as soon as possible so he can get that money coming on in to pay for that Great Hall and then start the actual profit. So it does take a while after you expand. You're not really gaining profit right away after you expand. Got to make all of the money back for the Great Hall or Town Hall that you have built. And some Sentry Wards coming down here for the Troll Witch Doctor. And invisible Dragonhawk Riders. Very nice addition. And we do have a Bat Rider as well on the field. And Witch Doctor out of position there. It looks like he was going to try and Spirit Ward the map a little bit. However, these Spirit Wards going to show these invisible Dragonhawk Riders. And aerial shackles, but they immediately get netted, so that doesn't really last too long at all. Those Dragonhawk Riders instantly sort of useless by that net. Playmaster's completely out of mana there, drained by the Blood Mage. However, just because he's out of mana does not mean he isn't deadly at all. Has that 30% increased attack speed. And we'll be able to crit very, very quickly. Archmage rather, needs to get himself out of there. He is very, very low. Uses the Potion of Invulnerability and going to try and blizzard down some of these troops as much as possible. And the Observer's already culling GG for Worker, and he is doing quite a good job for sure. But it isn't just over yet. It is looking that way, though. The Archmage will fall here. That will not be good at all. Sock calls GG. Worker wins the game there. So that was a Gara Cup game and a tournament. The tournament on the line. Both players playing as hard as they can. The unit score, hero score, 6-5, 5-3. Just could never really get that Blood Mage up as much as he wanted to, and the resource score as well. And now you don't really necessarily need a high level Blood Mage, as Siphon Mana is pretty much good enough at level 2. Level 3 is of course really good, but really just sort of siphoning mana away, and the higher level you get, I suppose the longer your banish lasts as well. Resources. But I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I'll see you guys next time.